Hello, hiya. Just sort this out quickly. How's everyone doing? We've got a few people in the chat. Steele's evening. So this is the Aston Villa preview. My dad's out. We didn't manage to get not the Aston Villa preview, the Crystal Palace preview. We didn't manage to get the Aston Villa review out. Had a busy week, but we are back with the Crystal Palace preview. So yeah, got some comments in the chat so that we can talk a bit. So what's everyone thinking about the Crystal Palace game? Obviously, Bamford looks like he's going to be fit, so that's good. Sinny's had a red card, so he won't be playing. It's for me, I think Joffrey, it's a make or break game for him, whether he plays or not. And we've obviously still got that problem at right back that we seem to have with Christensen versus Ayling. Got a cheeky bit of a rivalry going on there. But yeah, so I want to get some of your guys' opinions on what lineup you'd take, what lineups you're gonna be thinking, what score lines you're thinking, and yeah, just get into that. We know that Crystal Palace have an American player in Chris Richards, the American centre back that they signed from Bayern Munich. So that's a big one for us. That's a big one for Marsh, obviously. He's probably worked with him in the past. Got to try and try to keep the fast and tricky CP forwards, Crystal Palace forwards, quite tomorrow. Yeah, and another thing about them is they're also very tall. Obviously, you've got Mateta, Benteke's a free agent now, I think, but you've got Edouard. They're all quite aerially dominant. Zaha even. So we struggle with that normally with tall forwards. So Christensen's gonna have a tricky one there because he's obviously our sort of our aerial threat in the team at the back. So get some comments coming in. Get some comments in, and we'll discuss. I'm thinking maybe we put Ayling at right back, give him a go because he played well when he came on yesterday, and he played well against Brentford. He's obviously Batman and Robin in defence in it, so that's good. There's also reports saying that we've agreed a fee for Gakpo and that we've agreed personal terms. We're just discussing with PSV, so that's really massive. I don't know how true that is though. It might all just be paper talk. Yeah. Got yeah. Get your comments in, guys. Get your comments in. So my predicted Leeds lineup probably got to be Christensen at right back. That's what I think happened. I'd rather have Ayling, but I think he'll start Christensen. So it's going to be Christensen at right back, Cooper and Koch at centre back, because or maybe start Firpo. Yeah, maybe Struijk and Koch at centre back. Have Cooper on the bench. Start Firpo at left back. Then obviously you've got to have Rocker and we say every video you've got to have Rocker and Adams in the defensive midfield partnership. I think he'll play Bamford up front and he'll have Rodrigo behind Bamford because obviously at the start of the season that's where he was playing really well. So Rodrigo behind Bamford, and then Harrison on the right, Harrison on the left, and Harrison on the right. Because obviously Sinny's red card, but having Bamford coming back from injury is huge for us. Or we could just play Dan James. Oh wait. Can only wish for Gakpo after his recent form that will start attracting the bigger clubs. There was a mention Scum were only interested in Gakpo when they thought they weren't going to get Anthony. That won't be happening, I don't think. There's only two players in Europe's top leagues that have scored that have had 20 plus goal involvements, and that's Gakpo and Haaland. So, and we had a chance to sign both of them and fumbled it. Leeds are going to get the full 3 points, 2-1, 2-1. So who do you think is going to score? Farrell among us. Who do you think is going to score? We've got a few comments coming in now. That's good. It's a good job we didn't buy kettle chips. Okay, so there's a few things wrong with that. He hasn't got to go for Bayern Munich. He didn't go to Bayern Munich, mate. He went to AC Milan. So that's wrong. But I think he doesn't fit their system. I think he's better playing he's not a midfielder. I think he's a creative striker. He's better as a centre forward, sort of how Roberto Firmino plays or Thomas Lemar plays for Atletico, where they play behind the wingers, but they're still the they're still the striker. They're just further behind the wingers. So I think it might fit our system if he came, but obviously didn't. So it's if put some maybes in it, and we don't do them. Evening, lads. We could do with a win. We could do a win in this one. I wouldn't read too much into the Gakpo rumours. Not with Arsenal rumoured to be interested. I don't think I'll go Arsenal. They've already got Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Saka. So I don't. They've just got Fabio Vieira and Marquinhos. I don't see him going Arsenal now. I don't see him going Arsenal. Mars said Firpo is not ready. Oh, has he? Okay, that's. I wouldn't say thank goodness. He played all right when he came on. You know, he's not really had a chance to play in Marsh's system. So I think we need to give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. You know, he'll come good, hopefully. Hi from Donegal. We've not had someone from there on the channel before. So hi to Liam Chalky. Get your comments coming in, guys. There's we've got donations that we can get now. So if you want to throw one of them in and get a shout out. Bamford's due a goal. He looked good recently. He does look good so far. He does look really good. He made some good chances against Villa. Obviously the passing and Harrison missed that chance. I think it was Harrison. Hope you're right, Dan. Yeah, well, we know. I normally am, aren't I? So we'll see. So CDK has done very well for Milan. People looking at his stats and not watching games. Yeah, I agree. I still don't think he fits their system in terms of scoring goals, though. I don't think that he's that guy in terms of scoring goals. Did we see the results today? Obviously, Haaland getting another goal. That's his 20th goal of the season so far, which is really just astounding because he's only 20, man. So how many goals does everyone think he's going to get? Because I think he'll probably get maybe 40, 35 or 40, and I would put a bet on that because he's just a monster, really. There's a petition to ban him from the Premier League that's just hit 1 million signatures. Because banning from the Premier League in interest of fairness. We have got a few people in on the stream, so just get your comments in, guys. It's an away game, and Crystal Palace away is a tough game. If you can say what you want about our fans, but Crystal Palace have some good fans as well, so it is a tough one. We normally struggle to score against Palace. I think if I remember right, we beat them 1-0 with a last minute penalty. It was 0-0. We beat them 3-0 when we came up from the Championship though. Bamford got a brace, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do we still need a striker in January as well? Because that's another question. Do we still need a left back and a striker in January based on what we've seen so far and having Firpo back and having Dallas coming back? Do we still need a striker and a left back? Just tell me that as well. Including Champions League, he's definitely hitting 40 plus, albeit barring any injuries. Yeah, I think that's what I agree. I think he could hit 40 in the Prem anyway, and then not including Champions League, 50 in the Prem and Champions League. He's just turned the Premier League into a Farmers League, hasn't he? Thoughts and links with Gakpo today. I think it may just be paper talk, because obviously it's gone quiet. That in some of the Facebook groups, that website caught offside or something. They're always putting dumb stuff like it put. I saw the other day it was saying player that Bielsa loved. One of Bielsa's favourites could be leaving Leeds soon, and then I clicked on it and it's talking about Alfie McColeman leaving Leeds. I'm like, honestly, the Salzburg striker will sign for us in January. Which one? Junior Adamu. Are you on about the who's the other one? Okafor. Are you on about Adamu or Okafor? Because they've got a couple. You could just play Dan James left back as you suggested before the season. You could do if he played for us, which would be more than ideal if he played for us. But he doesn't play for us. He plays for Fulham now, which is just madness. The fact that we put all of our eggs in one basket with Dieng. That's another thing. You know, we left Gakpo so late. And we were doing interviews. Marsh did an interview saying we're just waiting for the dominoes to fall. We're just waiting for the chance to go and for players to leave clubs so that we can go in and sign replacements so that we can the door opens for us to go and get a striker. And the domino never fell with Gakpo or Dieng. They were both available for the whole window. The whole window we could have gone for Dieng or we could have gone for Gakpo, but we put all of our eggs in one basket with CDK. and we just left it late to get Gakpo. We left, then we panicked, and we ended up with an 18-year-old who I'm not saying he's not good enough, because he looks like a good player so far. He looked good in the Papa John's Trophy. It is the Papa John's Trophy. So the Gakpo story came from a reliable journalist from the Mirror. Okafor, I reckon, will sign. Okafor was linked with Forest, if I'm correct. He's quite a good player. He suits a narrow system. Obviously, playing at Salzburg, they play quite a narrow system. Linked with Forest, another team that play a narrow system. So that's always a plus, you know. If we can get a player in that's gonna fit the system. So yeah, what's everyone's score predictions? Get your score predictions in just quickly, so we can see what everyone's thinking for the score. I think maybe it's a weird one with Palace, because like obviously played in pre-season last time, didn't we? And we drew 1-1. Mateta scored for them. Rodrigo scored a penalty for us. And also, would you start Somerville? Because obviously, Cine being out red carded, would you just take him out, slot Somerville in, and keep everything the same, or would you change the front line by moving Rodrigo back, putting Bamford up front, and then moving Aronson out of the middle to right? You know, it's obviously people complaining about square pegs round holes and moving like the whole system around because of one absence. But would you do that tomorrow, or would you just start Somerville, or start one of the youngsters? Notts Forest will go down. So, yeah, we live in Nottingham, and I think they will. They've just signed Cooper to a 5-year deal, which is madness. They've just signed Cooper. They're completely backing him, which I respect it, but it's madness. 1-1, but my heart says 2-1 to us. Yeah, there's always a lot of head versus hearts on the channel for the predictions, isn't there? 4-2 Leeds, Bamford. That's optimistic. That is very optimistic. Ooh, Bamford hat-trick. Wow. Okay, so what I'm thinking personally is I think Harrison's going to get a goal, because they've got a weakness at right back. I think their first choice right back is Nathan Clyne, and Harrison's going to absolutely tear him a new one, I think. So I think it's going to be Harrison's going to score. I think that Bamford will score, and then anything other than that, I don't know. But I think Bamford and Harrison will score, and I think it'll be just like the good old days. They'll start Aronson out wide and Rodrigo off Bamford. That's what I'm saying. But when he starts Rodrigo off Bamford, Rodrigo's never really up front. He's always behind Bamford. He's never really pushes up. Tricky this one, but it's a 3-1 win to us. So that's optimistic from Russ. Russ is always the voice of optimism. Gary O'Neill, Bournemouth manager of the season so far. Gary O'Neill, Bournemouth manager of the season so far. Very impressed they gave themselves a chance of surviving. Didn't buy him, obviously. Is Gary O'Neill isn't the Bournemouth manager, is he? Is Gary O'Neill the Bournemouth manager? You should have a look at that. I don't really follow Bournemouth. I know that Hasenhüttl's been sacked by Southampton and Marsh is on the shortlist. Oh, caretaker manager, yeah. Caretaker. He's not like the full manager though, is he? I know that Marsh and Steve Cooper are on the shortlist for the Southampton job, which is really strange. Obviously we had to expect that. Again, narrow systems, people. Red Bull systems. Cooper plays in a narrow system, not quite a Red Bull system, but a narrow system, and so does Marsh. So, you know, we expect it, but would Marsh go Southampton if they offered him more money? Just let me know if you think Marsh would go Southampton. I'd start fair play for this one. Looked really good against Villa. He didn't look really good. For me, he looked like he cut the mustard. But then again, look at him for the under-23s and he looked out of his depth. I know he'd just come back from injury, but, you know, I don't think he was really good. If I was watching the same game as you. He's interim. Yeah, I know he's interim manager. I think Bournemouth and Fulham will struggle. No, I think Fulham have got it. I think Fulham have got it. Marco Silva's great manager. Brilliant manager. Like, oof. And they made some great signs as well. They've got Willian. They've got the who's the midfielder that they brought in from Sporting, Palinia. They've got Dan James, our boy Dan James. So they have some really good players. Can't see Marsh leaving as he left Leipzig with a poor name. He'll stay and try and build his profile at Leeds. I think that's what a lot of young managers do, isn't it? It's obviously what Nagelsmann did at Leipzig. Dan, you have a bigger lightsaber down the centre of your screen. Huh? Let me have a look. Is there something wrong with the picture? Just tell me if there's something wrong with the picture. Oh, that's my light. 1 second. Let me sort that out. Let me just move out of that. There you go. I thought there was something wrong with my camera. Why do you think Marsh? I don't think Marsh would leave Leeds. I didn't say Marsh would leave Leeds. All I said is I asked, do you think he'd leave if he was offered more money? I don't think he would personally. Why do you think? Like, if he was to leave, then I think money's always a factor. You can say what you want about people loving the club they're at, but money's always a factor. And they've got maybe a higher Premier League profile than Leeds. Touch wood. So obviously they've been in the Prem for longer. They came up a few seasons before us. They're an established Premier League team, and they're not doing too bad. I don't really do Ultimate Team. I'm more of a career mode guy. Ultimate Team's really stressful. Career mode, if you get sacked or if all your players leave, you can just like start a new career mode in it. So normally in 21 FIFA 21, I did last season. I tried doing a career mode, but then all my players started running out of contracts, and I had to sell them all. And then I bought contracts, and then I didn't have the money to buy packs, and it was very stressful. I'm not cut out for that sort of stuff. He loves Leeds. It's always about a bit of money. It's always about a bit of Benjamin Franklin. If they come and offer him triple what Leeds are offering him, and they say we'll back you with the signings, we'll let you get who you want in. You know, I can see him saying no, but I can't see him definitely saying yes. Marsh, I can't see him definitely saying no to that. Marsh said not long ago that he wouldn't leave, but maybe it was a mind battle with. Yeah, but did you know there was a relegation clause in his contract to say that if we went down, then he could leave without having to be paid off? No, that he could leave and he'd have to be paid off he put a clause in the contract, I think, saying that if we got relegated, then his contract would be null and void or something. He put that clause in his contract, so it's not always what you think, people. I don't think he would leave now, though. Now we've stayed up, I think he's obviously said that this is the best group of lads he's worked with, and he said a lot of stuff that makes me think that he wouldn't leave. Very, very early doors, but it doesn't take long to drift away in this league. Got to start picking up wins. I don't care if it comes off the keeper's backside in the last minute. It did come off the keeper's backside in the last minute. If you remember, the first season in the Premier played Wolves. I think it was the last minute, and Traore took a shot. I was just becoming a Leeds fan then. I was just getting into football. I only really started watching football when we came up because my dad made me. But Traore shot, and it came off the crossbar and came off Amelier's backside, and I got a bit of stick for that, and so did he. I don't think he would leave even for the USMNT position. I think the USMNT manager is going to get sacked after the World Cup, maybe. The USA manager's not brilliant. He's not. Even USA fans say that. He'll only leave. Yeah, I can see him. He's definitely on the shortlist for the USA job. There's no chance that he's not on the shortlist for the USA job. Just no chance. There were some USA fans saying Mourinho, though, saying that Mourinho was on the shortlist. So you never know with football, do you? Hard to say they need a better coach than they have now. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're not brilliant. Tom, are you from the USA? Are you from around there, Tom? Riley normally on the streams. Hi, Riley. After seeing the last two games, tomorrow's game is up in the air. I do not know how it will go. First 3 games looked good, cohesive and fluid, but now his passing looks off. And it's affecting final third. Yeah, we're always trying to thread the eye of the needle with the passes, aren't we? When we get it in the box, we're always trying to perfectly thread the passes. What did everyone think of the Villa game? More shots more fouls than shots, which is really strange. I think the referee, he's not been given a game this weekend apparently because of the poor standard that he had for the Leeds game. Yeah, get some comments in, guys. Again, we've got a good group here. What does everyone think of Neil Warnock? Just trying to get a bit of conversation going. What does everyone think of Neil Warnock? Right. So, who does everyone think is going to give us problems tomorrow? Like, who does everyone think could potentially cause us a few issues? Because I'm thinking Leeds should have won. They looked better, but passing was off. Yeah, exactly. They should have. Yeah. O'Reilly, good shout. We seem to have lost a little fluidity. Don't think the month off helped. Yeah, I think always coming back after an international break or a month off is always going to be a bit. You're always going to be a little bit rusty. And all the teams were, Haaland only scored 1 goal tonight, and for him that's abysmal. I think that Zaha is going to give us a few problems. I think, personally, in my opinion, is the best player outside of the big six. He's absolutely brilliant. He's scoring for fun at the minute. The only thing he's not good at is penalties, but I think he's gonna, if Christensen starts and Christensen is not on his game, then he's gonna tear Christensen a new one. I think Martial won't go anywhere when Victor had an interview with Chelsea, so why would he go to Southampton? They're not Real Madrid. Well, Marsh isn't holding out for the Real Madrid job, is he? I think that if an established Premier League team like maybe Villa or Southampton or even Palace came in and wanted him, then and they offered him a lot of money, all I'm saying is that it's not definite. It's not set in stone that he's going to say no, I'm not going, because I don't think that every player that signs for a club is always going to say good things about the club they've signed for. That's just facts. You get all these players joining Leeds saying, and I'm not at all talking bad about any of the players that have joined Leeds. I think they're all great, and I think they all love the club. I think they're all starting to fit in well. But a player signs for a club is always going to say, "Oh, I always wanted to come here because I love them. They're brilliant. They've got a lot of history, and they're a good team." They're always going to say stuff when they sign for him. Same with Marsh. He'll come to Leeds. He'll go to a club, and I don't know him personally. I don't, but he's not going to say bad things about Leeds, is he? He would say he's not going to go anywhere because he wants the fans to like him. He's come after Bielsa, like at Leipzig when he came after Nagelsmann, and he needs the fans on side, and we need to be on his side because he's a good guy and he's a good manager. But these sides not. It's debatable though, isn't it? Because they're all established Premier League teams more so than us. We're still new to the Premier League. We are still new to the Premier League, which is just a bizarre thing to say, but we are. And that's why we can't pull players like CBK and Gakpo. We might have to start wrapping up soon because I'm playing in a football match tomorrow. Need a bit of sleep in it. But what's everyone else saying? Tom, true. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. A player that signs for Leeds is always gonna say, well, they've got a lot of history. They're a brilliant club, and it's true. It's true what they're saying, but they'll say it because they have to. I think Elise will give trouble to Aronson with physicality. Aronson has the skill, but I think he needs to put on the muscle and strength. Yeah, that's fair. I think Aronson's really tricky midfielder, and maybe in some instances he doesn't need strength because you can just skip through players, really, can't he, and make it look like he's floating around them. But I think Elise is a really good player, though. I think he's English, isn't he? Elise and Eze are English. Eze and Zaha, the link up that they've got is just mental. It's brilliant. I wish we'd have players like that are just linked up like Eze and Zaha, because together they're just brilliant. So, predicted lineup is Rasmus, Struijk and Koch, and Firpo at left back. But obviously Firpo's not starting. Marsh said that, so I'm going to change that. It's going to be Christensen, Cooper Koch, and Struijk at left back, Rocker and Adam CDM, Rodrigo in behind Bamford, and then two wingers, Harrison and Aronson. I need to say Harrison there. Harrison and Aronson on the wings. That's what I'm thinking. So that's the lineup, and my predicted score is. My predicted score is maybe 2. My predicted score is 3-0. My predicted score is 3-0. I think that Mateta will score for them. I think that Zaha will score for them. And maybe Doucouré, the new signing, the central midfielder. Anybody that Cooper is marking will give us problems. Cooper's a good player. He's always looking over his shoulder when he plays with Llorente to make sure Llorente's not doing something stupid. Those sides are really not a step up though. I've said that. I've already spoken about that one, haven't I? I also think we have issues with coaching in the system. Alisson has been tactically removed from the offence. We need a couple of veterans, really, don't we? Like if we'd have gone on Juan Mata, we need a few veterans to sort of talk to the younger players. Alisson has ball skilled to Phil Foden and positionally as well. He's even said that he likes to play like Phil Foden, like get involved in the front line like he did against Chelsea and press the keeper and sort of close down and go beyond the striker in some senses. Oh, Cine and Rafinha linking up was brilliant. Me and my dad have spoken about it. Can you imagine if we'd have kept Rafa? It'd have been absolutely brilliant if we'd have kept Rafa. So predicted score is 3-3. I've said my predicted lineup. So get your final comments in because I'm gonna have to be gone soon. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be missing the second half because my friends. New baby brothers having a christening and I'm going to be there, so I might miss the second half. Might have to record it. Bamford might be better in this pressure game, looking for a win. He might not be better. He's a bit of a pressure player, isn't he? Obviously we saw his England debut and that wasn't brilliant, so it could be better. Obviously, their centre-back pairing of Anderson and Guehi is just great centre-back pairing. It's one of the best centre-back pairings outside of sort of the top four. They've got great chemistry. 2 right-footed centre-backs, and Guehi's broken into the England team. Anderson's a regular in the Denmark team. I think 2-1 win Leeds or 1-0. People always come on and say that they think we're going to win because everybody's it's head over heart, isn't it? I think 3-3. I've gone away from the optimistic predictions, as you can see, because I'm really just worried about not getting anything at all. Normally, I'm quite optimistic with my predictions, but I think it's going to be 3-3. So yeah, people are starting to drop off now. So defence looks a lot better from last year. It does look a bit better. I hope we keep Llorente out of it, innit? I think he'll go in January anyway. He's in the last year of his contract, so if we want to. It's in the last 2 years of his contract. Next season's going to be his last year. So if we want to cash in, January's the time. I can see him going to maybe going to Turkey, maybe going to a further away league, Saudi Arabia maybe, like Alioski did. But yeah, it's been good having you guys. We'll try and come on and do the after game thing. We'll try and come on and do the review of the game. Probably will be, and we'll see you next time. Decent outfit, Palisar. Yeah, come on the Leeds, get in there. See you next time. Leeds.